You depending on when there's money to be made. That's a limitation. But when you're laboring in love, it doesn't matter how much money there is or is not to be made. You don't even care. You're laboring in love. And you know what the benefit of your labor is? That people are changing and waking up and becoming more conscious and becoming part of a conscious community, becoming a part of a conscious team effort to change the condition of our people. That people are waking up and becoming a part of that. And that is a wealth in and of itself. And that's the type of wealth that we are looking for. The wealth of our people waking up. We can be rich and don't nobody have to wake up. We can have a lot of money and people can be asleep. You can achieve money and become wealthy without waking people up, without having people become conscious. People do it all the time. They make millions of dollars and people are just as unconscious as they were before they got rich. That the fact that they're wealthy means nothing to society. But you cannot make money and not be about making money, and you can affect and positively influence the lives of people. Why? Number one, that is your goal. If your goal is to positively affect and influence the lives of people, that's what's going to happen via your goal. If your goal is to make money, you'll make money. It won't ensure that you'll positively influence the lives of people. So we have to ask ourselves, what is our most predominant goal? Is that our predominant goal, to see how much money that we're going to be able to accumulate, or how much wealth and resources we're going to get? Because if that is our predominant goal, then we already know what the results are going to be in the end. We don't have to fool ourselves in the meantime. But if our goal is to positively influence people so we can share in those positive communities, so we can share in those positive social experiences after our people have woke up, then that's a whole nother, that's something in and of itself. It's something totally different. Some people say that our problem in our community is economic. So we are going to need money. But we are one of the wealthiest people in the world. We spend more than independent countries as black people. So our problem is not economic. If we realize that our problem is consciousness, then through our growth in consciousness, then we will shift the use of our economics. Do you see the point I'm making? That we already have. That's why we don't say that our problem is economic. Our problem is consciousness, because once consciousness changes, then the economics will shift into a different direction. So we focus on people's consciousness, not economics. We focus on waking up people wherever they're at, whether they're rich, whether they're poor, it doesn't matter. We focus on waking them up, because once they wake up, everything wakes up, everything changes. What do a man awoke do? And what do a man who is asleep do? The rich man that's asleep will do the same thing that the poor man is asleep. The poor man is after the same thing that the rich man is. The rich man is just successful at getting it. They're both asleep. You know what I'm making? So once you wake either of them up, you get the same result. So it's not about rich or poor or money or not having money. It's about the quality of human consciousness. It's about the quality of human life. And particularly black life and black people. Because if you can raise and uplift the most beat people, the most bamboozled people, if you can raise the most colonialized people, then the rest is easy. You feel what I'm making? When you clean your house, it's better for you to start with the most dirtiest part, right? Because you can start cleaning all the easy parts and get tired before you get to the real mess, right? So it will make more sense for us to start with the mess. Get to that part first. The rest is easy. We can do that in no amount of time. So we're going to do the hardest work first. And the hardest work is dealing with our own people. That's the hardest work. It's easy to go and tell some Europeans and talk about social change. Oh, they love that. They'll listen. The real work is changing our own people. Getting into their face, getting across to their consciousness, and bringing about change. Well, some people say, well, I want to go and get among people who can listen to me. I want to go, and because people are open-minded, I'll go and be amongst them. They want to hear what I got to say. It doesn't matter that they're white or black. What matters is they want to hear what I got to say. That's nonsense. Now, you will never do the work. If a doctor heals the people that are easy to heal, then he can't justify his position. A doctor must heal everybody, heal the people who are sick, not heal the people who are just willing to be healed. The doctor's job, his job position is to heal the sick, not heal the sick that want to be healed, but heal all people who are sick. That is his ultimate goal. Even if the person loves to be sick, even if the person is stuck in a state of sickness, it is the doctor's job to help that person get to healing, to health. So we're not doing a job of a doctor when we're saying, well, forget black people. Black people don't want to hear, they don't want to support this message. They don't want to hear that. People have said that before. Now we are avoiding the sick. Now we're getting away from the people who need the healing. And that is our job as healers. That is our job, to heal our own community, to restore our people to their divine state. That's our job. That's what we're here to do. We're not here to save the Europeans. We're not here to save the Chinamans or the Arabs. And I was saying this the other day, that some, black people and black leaders have went to go and combine Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and combine them all into the struggle of black people. And as black people, they're combined in that struggle. But under the auspices of being Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, it's something totally different. Too much division. We are here specifically to raise the consciousness of the black man and woman, of the black man, woman, and child. We're specifically here to raise them to a higher level of consciousness, to restore them to their divinity. That is our mission statement. To establish a divine community of awakened black people. That is our mission statement. Now, if other people can be affected positively by that, we ain't going to turn it down. We're not going to turn down nobody of no nationality who can be positively affected. We're not going to say, well, you're getting some of this light, let's turn the light off of them. But we certainly ain't going to turn the damn lamp on them. Do you understand the point that I'm making? We're going to keep the lamp and the light focused on our people. And that is not going to change. We are specifically here to awaken our people and bring them into the knowledge of themselves and bring them into the knowledge of their divinity. That is what we are here to do, and it is what we will be successful doing in this lifetime. Nothing is going to stop us or permit us or prohibit us into doing this. This is our goal. This is our focus. And this is what will happen. And once again, anybody can benefit. Anybody can get a little light. When it rains on everybody. You see what I'm making? And when we reign with this enlightened consciousness, it's going to rain on everybody. Some people are going to get hit with light. It's like a conscious, sometimes we're doing like knowledge drive-bys. You feel me? It's a few Europeans that's going to get shot up with it. A few bullets going to scatter and hit people of different nationalities. But it's specific for black people. You say, well, you look at Wu-Tang Clan, and you see nothing at their concerts but Europeans. That's ridiculous. If you're here to wake the black man, woman, and child, then that's what you should do. It should never turn into you waking up the Europeans. You understand what I'm making? Oh, black people don't want it. Black people don't want to wake up. No, you're inefficient in waking them up. If the European is so efficient in bamboozling them with all these marketing strategies, he's so efficient in getting black people's minds and consciousness. But we talk about we can't do it. It ain't that black people don't want to wake up. We refuse to be efficient. We refuse to be efficient at waking them up. So we settle for less. And then our movements become watered down. We started talking about nation building. We started saying nation time. We started off talking about black power. Then we started talking about brown power. Then we started talking about red power and yellow power. And hell, some people even started talking about green power. Reptilians. We got so far away from what we originally was set up to do. And we accepted it happily. But that was not the goal. When we was talking about nation time, we were literally talking about having a black nation. How many people want to really see a black nation rise up and reach the divinity and reach their consciousness? How many people can really visualize that? Can you even hold that vision? Can you hold the vision of a black nation rising up? Can that vision be held? Some people can hold the vision of a corporation longer than they can hold the vision of a black nation. They start walking down the road, and that vision gets blurry. Well, it's looking kind of white, a little dark in there. The vision gets blurrier the longer they own it. They can't keep the solid focus. Well, I can. I can. That's why I'm still standing here today, because I see that black nation manifesting. My mind has never got off of it. When I saw the teachings of the nation of gods and earth, when it said nation now or end, that meant I took it word for word. I believed in that like Jesus. Nation now or end. You see the point I'm making? Literally. And I stand on that. Either we're going to have a black nation now or end. Not a black and white nation, black and green nation, black and blue nation, but a black nation. And that black nation is going to rise up. Not with hatred towards other people, but as something in and of itself. That is our focus. We won't change off that focus. We won't step off. We won't get a little white at the end and say, hey, I had a near-death experience, and I decided we're going to start trying to save all people. That's not going to happen. That'll never happen. I won't go and all of a sudden find some scripture in the Bible or in the Quran and say we're supposed to start waking up white people. I will never do that. That's not going to happen. I'm always going to be focused on uplifting the consciousness of black people. We need to see that. We need to stop going to museums and seeing King Tut's and start seeing King Tut in our community. You feel what I'm making? We need to start looking at old artifacts of pyramids and deities and start seeing black deities within our own community.
Yes, sir.
Literally. We need to stop looking back at historical information and glorifying that. But we can't glorify the black people that are among us. That has to change. That's why being black has literally become history. Because today, you can't even be black no more. You got to be universal. But nature didn't create you universally. You feel what I'm making? I've never met a universal looking being ever. I've never seen one. Now, y'all might have seen something I haven't seen. But I haven't seen a universal being. If you do a genetic test on somebody and do a blood test, it ain't going to say universal. There is no universal human being. You either black or you either white. You either pale with no melanin or you're European. You got, like Dr. York said, you either got 9 ether hair or you got straight hair. Feel what I'm making? You either got melanin or you don't. That's the bottom line. You either got Nubian features or you do not. It's not hard. We're not making this thing difficult. We know the difference between a European and a black person. They said it themselves. You got 1 drop of black blood, you a black. You feel what I'm making? They said it. So we know the difference between that 1 black drop of black blood and not having it. There are no universal people. Now, there are grafted people, which is the European who have been grafted, who are a grafted race of people that are European.
Created.
Now, if that grafted person got back with a black person, then they've regrafted that person back to being black. You see the point I'm making? That child now is black. He's been grafted back into being black. Do you see the point I'm making? Because they were grafted into being European, according to the Yaqub story.
Right.
They were grafted in being by mixing the lighter ones with the lighter ones with the lighter ones with the lighter ones until they came up with the European. So they came up with the Caucasians. So when that Caucasian go and get back with a black person, now they have been grafted back out. And that person is now a Nubian. They're no longer that graftation no more. They went and laid down with a 9 ether being. Now you have another 9 ether being. That's the bottom line. Not a universal person.
Right.
You're either real or you have unreal. You're either real or you fake. There's either truth or falsehood. There's no universal area. Do you see the point I'm making? But they want to sell you on this universalism. But your chance, but when you, it's 70% of black people in jail, that's not a universal situation.
No, sir.
They're not teaching universal history and universal information in the education system. There's nothing universal about that. There's nothing universal about racial profiling. Do they pull over universal people? So we don't want to hear nothing about people coming talking about, are we universal? We should take on a universal perspective. As universal